Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. That's going to go into my 10 minutes, I'm afraid. Wow. Man, it's great to see everybody. It's my 12th time to be at the Giant House Party. 12th time for Lynn and I to be here, and we're real proud to be back. You know, it makes me remember a little bit about how we started. I see all you and your families, and we've been around visiting the cabins. And it reminds me how Lynn and I started coming back to Mississippi. When we came back to Mississippi, everything we owned was in that car. We had an old TV, some wedding gifts, and some student loans. We had just enough money to make a down payment on an apartment. And so we started by looking for a job, and Lynn got a job. And we started also with one other big problem. The car that we had come back in was rented. I had to take it back to Hertz. So for the first month that we were in Mississippi, we were hitchhiking to work at the Capitol. Lynn got a job there as the secretary for the President Pro Tem of the Mississippi Senate on the third floor of the Capitol. Isn't it funny how small a world Mississippi is, because that's where I'm going back to. Three children and 7 grandchildren later, it's time to give some money back, some time back. We've enjoyed the last 12 years. We really have. We have a great staff. You can see a lot of them here. They worked hard for you, and I have too. When I came back, when y'all hired me 12 years ago, you said, you gave me a couple of jobs to do. One was to make Mississippi the easiest place to form a business. It used to take 2 weeks and a lot of paper to form our business in Mississippi, and we rewrote every business law in Mississippi's history. Every single one that affected you, we rewrote those. Now you can form a business in Mississippi with a click of a mouse in less than a minute. And you know how many of you will take advantage of that this year? 25,000 new businesses will be formed that way this year. And we lowered the filing fees. We have the lowest filing fees in the country for you. You asked us to take care of public lands. I thought that was very important. These sweetheart 16-section land deals, some of you may have seen the truck coming up here about people that we've asked to pay fair rent for 16-section land. Over the 12 years since you hired me, I have raised $1 billion for public education. That's $400 million more than was raised before. Every penny of it went to public education. And in addition to that, we have acquired 20,000 acres in an island on the coast. For y'all from the coast, you know Cat Island, all of you do. If they ask you for a financial statement, put 1/3 of an island, you own it. It's been a tremendous, we paid very little money. Those lands will be here forever. They'll be here for your children and your grandchildren, and that's the way it should be. Y'all asked me to institute a common sense voter ID, and so we started that. You know, the liberal Democrats, and you just heard one, the liberal Democrats, they said, they say, guess what? You know, you're going to disenfranchise 400,000 people. None of them will be able to vote anymore. You know how many people we disenfranchise? 0. Just the contrary, we have issued 7,000 new voter IDs to people who've never had one, and we said, we want you to come vote in Mississippi's election. You should be proud of what you did. And one other benefit my lawyer's still mad about, we were the only state that didn't get sued by the Justice Department. Congratulations. And you asked me not to leave autistic children without insurance coverage so they can have the same hopes and dreams that you do. And today, they do. So it's time to move forward. First and foremost, Mississippi will only succeed if public education succeeds. That's the only way this will work. We must start by raising our teachers' salaries. And that's just not only the ones that start, but that'll automatically raise the rest of our teachers' salaries. We can't lose new teachers to other states simply because we're not competitive in our pay scales. Staying in Mississippi and teaching our children should not be an economic decision for our teachers. Speaking of losing teachers, our school principals are pretty frustrated. More than a third of the school districts are facing critical teacher shortages. And graduation from education in our public universities for teachers is down 25%. Increases in salary are critical, but we must also have increases in respect for our teachers and their profession. We are committed to incentivizing retired teachers to come back to work. Why are we ignoring them? Why shouldn't they come back to work? We need their expertise. We're committed to funding programs which attract new teachers to critical areas. There's critical areas in Mississippi that don't have enough teachers, and they need to be funded, and we need to have critical areas funded for Mississippi. And we're also committed to minimizing unnecessary and burdensome testing, and you hear a lot about that from our teachers as I go around. We need to start earlier with education. This last year, we funded 19 collaboratives. Next year, we'll fund all 50 that ask for it. We need to start with pre-K. Every single child who's 4-year-old needs to have pre-K available to them. Every one of those commitments I've made to you are not long-term. They start next year. So y'all asked me to help small businesses. You know, we did. We asked them what do they needed. You know what they need? An educated workforce and community support. That's what small businesses ask us to give them. We need to listen to them. We need to give them a seat at the table. They're the backbone of the economy. They give more than half of our services are small businesses, small mom and pop businesses. Small businesses deserve the same incentives as those offered to multi-billion-dollar corporations, and they'll get them. Healthcare in Mississippi has reached a financial breaking point. Our rural hospitals serve 50% of our people, and 50% of those are at risk of closing. It's time to reevaluate healthcare in Mississippi. Look at healthcare reform, and look at the ones that have worked in other states where we have a net zero to our budget. We can do that. We can strengthen our team-based collaborative care agreements with our nurses and our doctors around Mississippi, and we can fund our rural scholarships so that doctors will be able to go there. No Mississippian should be further than 30 minutes from an emergency room, and they won't be starting next year. Y'all all know I jog a lot, and I think health care begins when you wake up in the morning. We're not going to forget wellness of our citizens. You'll see us emphasizing that in the health care. Right now, only 30% of our population actually gets a postgraduate education, actually gets a baccalaureate degree. Every Mississippian deserves the opportunity to have a living wage and have a future in Mississippi. That's why you'll see us saying graduation day is too late to start asking, what are you going to do now? We will expand career and technical education, and we will bring the community colleges down into our schools. You'll see dual credits. You'll see kids with a future starting the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade plotting their future. You'll see where they have less student debt and more economic opportunity. All education leads to employment. That's where we're heading. And the economics will not be a barrier for Mississippi's children to be educated anymore. Finally, those of y'all listening to Dick Hall this morning would have learned that infrastructure is critical. You've spoken to that. The legislature started down that road this last time with $250 million. It's not enough. We'll have to make sure that our infrastructure continues to be funded with a stable force for our counties and our cities so you can get your products to market and yourself to school and yourself to work. I want you to know I don't just talk about being conservative when it's convenient. I'm not purple. I'm a conservative Republican. I have been endorsed by Governor Bryant, the NRA, the Mississippi Right to Life, the Mississippi Manufacturers Association, the Realtors Association, Bully Block, and many other businesses and organizations. And I don't just talk about getting things done, I do them. It's beyond me how you can work for 4 years in the legislature and have so little influence. We need a lieutenant governor that has a proven record, and I'm him. We can run state government better. The budget I requested this year was less than the budget you gave me 12 years ago to run my operation. Just 3 weeks ago, I turned back of that budget that was less than the year when I started. I turned back $1.3 million back to the public domain so they can go to teachers and education. We're fully automated. We take 65,000 phone calls a year, and every time we answer them within 10 seconds with somebody that's glad that you called. Every state agency ought to work like that, and it will. And we don't believe you should wait an entire day to get a driver's license. Next year, you won't. If you like the way the Secretary of State's office has been run, you're going to love the way I run state government. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all are going to miss lunch if we carry on like this. You know, 10 minutes. Here we go. Some people say you can overpromise on an election year. I'm here today to tell you, look at my record. I don't overpromise, I overdeliver. We'll create a better place for you, your grandchildren, and my grandchildren to grow up in Mississippi. Have a great day at the fair. God bless you and support me for you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.